Hello, everyone. My name is Mrs. Garcia. Parents and teachers, welcome. I wanted to gather you all here today to talk to you a little bit about the power of a scribble. I'm sure a lot of us have had a young child scribble on our walls at one point or another, perhaps a son, daughter, little cousin, and we think a couple of things. First of all, how am I going to clean this off the walls or the floor? And second, when we look at the scribbles, we just see a bunch of lines and loops and circles, but we don't make much of it. It doesn't make much sense to us. Well, I'm here to tell you that a scribble is more than just marks on the floor, on a paper, on the wall. It holds a lot of power for children in particular and their development. So children actually go through this stage called the scribble stage. And what it is a stage or phase in which young children begin to make marks. These are lines, loops, squiggles, different shapes with writing tools, whether it be markers or crayons, pencils. And it usually happens between about the ages of 1 and 4. There are some sources that state it happens between the ages of 2 and 4, but they're all around usually the 1 to 4 year mark. And why is it important? Why should it matter? So it's a significant growth process that helps children develop current and future skills and allows children an outlet for self-expression and creativity. And here we see an infant, close to toddler, that is scribbling with the marker. And here we see all the lines and loops and wiggles. So a little bit about the skills that scribbling helps support or develop. These are reading and writing skills. The movements done while scribbling and the marks made are precursors to reading and writing. So all the lines and the squiggles and the circles, if you connect those and combine those, they make our alphabet, letters, and images, figures. So that is how a child's writing journey gets started with the scribble. Emotional skills, children may use scribbling as an emotional outlet in which they express emotions that at their age may be difficult to regulate, express, or label. So we know the little ones have feelings that they are going through, experiencing, and they are still learning to regulate these. So scribbling is an art form that helps them express this. Self-esteem skills. So through positive adult reactions towards scribbling, we can help children build confidence and a positive self-esteem. So when we react in an accepting manner towards children scribbling and not reprimand them or make them feel bad for scribbling. Fine motor skills. So while infants or toddlers hold writing tools and they make movements back and forth, up and down. The scribbling strengthens their small muscles in the fingers and hands. And also some infants and toddlers choose to, while finger painting, choose to do it with their fingers, which also strengthens small muscles, fine motor. Some resources that support scribbling include environments and materials. So environments include open spaces in which children can scribble on appropriate surfaces. This is paper. This can look like paper on walls, easels, paper on the floor. Centers in the classroom and available spaces at home should all include opportunities for writing. Outdoor spaces too can also include appropriate writing surfaces such as concrete, chalkboards, paper, etc. And here we see toddlers scribbling with chalk on the concrete. And materials to support scribbling include writing tools such as markers, crayons, chalk, paper, envelopes, stamps, notebooks, whiteboards, chalkboards. There are so many materials that can inspire children to scribble, and these can be set up in classroom centers and available spaces in the home. Encouraging children to scribble. These are some images that I found during my research that I really thought were perfect to show you all, because there's different ways and environments and materials that inspire children. So here we see toddlers on writing on cardboard and different kinds of papers. Here we see these small markers. They're kind of chubby, perfect for little hands. For infants, this infant looks like they're in a home. So they were given paper and markers to write with. And then these are slick sticks, and I've personally worked with slick sticks. They're very smooth and they feel almost waxy and kind of give off a paint finish, but they're sort of like a hybrid between paint and a crayon. It's super cool. And this infant was given paper and the slick sticks to write with, different colors. And then this over here to the right, this toddler is writing on an easel with different markers, and it looks like chalk as well. So to provide support, parents and teachers could do the following. Praise scribbling. So by reacting positively to scribbling and in an accepting manner, like I said, builds confidence and positive self-esteem. We can avoid teaching or correcting scribbling. It is well-meaning, but teaching a child or correcting their scribbling to make sense can distract children from their child-led creations or their goals, and it distracts them from that. So avoid writing on children's work. So once adults write on children's work, it's no longer their work, it's now the adults, and we want to avoid that. So it's unnecessary, it interrupts their work, it distracts them, I'm sorry, and it doesn't allow for the child to change their creation or what they drew, their art, what they scribbled. Once an adult writes on the work, it's like set in stone now, so the child can't go back and change it. So we want to give children that flexibility to change their work, so avoid writing on it. And last, avoid reprimands and offer surfaces. So providing children appropriate surfaces to scribble on. If the child scribbles on an inappropriate surface, redirect them by immediately providing an appropriate surface for them to scribble on. So resource links for parents and teachers, I included some resources for you all. This first one is a link that talks about the importance of scribbling, the development, why it's important. And the second one talks about the stages of drawing and writing. So within the scribbling stage, there are different stages that children go through. They begin with the loops and the lines, then they go into connecting those and actually creating images. So this talks a little bit about that. Third, this is more for teachers. How to support scribbling in the classroom, providing children those centers and materials in the classroom to support the scribbling. And four, this one's more for parents. Of course, both can look at both resources, but this one's more for parents, writing activities to do in the home or on the free time for 1 through 6 year olds. And this talks a lot about letting children just scribble and be freely scribble without any limits or stencils or things like that. Last, to finish off the presentation, I really like this quote. As an adult, you may only see a scribble. As a child, I see a masterpiece. So we might not make sense as adults of children's scribbles. We might not understand them, but children understand their own work. They know what they're doing. They're directing their own work and they see a masterpiece. Thank you so much for your attention today.